Morning everybody, and welcome to the last live Q&A we've got this month for Shark Month. Firstly, I'm going to apologise if you hear any background rustling. My little dog is loving tearing the cardboard up that we've given him, so that is what that noise is if you can hear it. So yeah, coming towards the end of Shark Month, we've still got lots happening though. But what a month it's been incredible. Obviously we've released several videos, and we've also had several talks for our Meet the Expert Mondays, which have been phenomenal. You know, we've got to learn about where sharks go and how do we know, about basking sharks, which actually bears in mind that this morning I saw some footage on Facebook from one of our friends, Andy, at Atlantic Adventures down in Penzance, and doing his exercise this morning, I think walking his dog. They've saw a beautiful basking shark, and they've shared the footage on Facebook, so I definitely recommend having a look because it's really clear and really beautiful and just makes me want to jump in the sea. So we learned about basking sharks, and then obviously we've learned about thermoregulation within sharks, and then next Monday, we have Charles Hood, who will be talking about blue sharks. So yeah, do tune in for that. There's still more things to come as well. So yeah, thanks for joining us. If you have any questions, please do post them. I also wanted to say thanks again because I've got the lovely Jax and Jodie working away in the background, helping me research any questions that might come up that I might not know the answer to. I've definitely learned a lot this month from doing these videos and also watching the talks that have been happening. So I hope you guys have too. And yeah, we'll crack on for today. So first of all, I've got a few more facts about the sharks that are featured in yesterday's video. So that was makos, threshers and taupes. 3 beautiful sharks that we do get around Cornwall. So just to cover a bit more facts about those guys, I'm just going to have a little slurp of water. Okay, so mako sharks. So the one that I was referring to in the video was a short fin mako shark, but you do actually get long fin mako sharks as well. They can reach speeds up to about 30 miles per hour. That's quite tricky though, because I do find I found some differing research on that. So let me know if you found anything different, because yeah, that's what I found, 30 miles per hour. I don't know how much that is in kilometers per hour. Their combined features, so the fact they have that amazing torpedo-shaped streamlined body, and the fact that their fins are fairly short, relatively short, it means that they slice through the water really easily. So they're just really well designed creatures. They're amazing. So the mako as a word actually is a Maori word, comes from a Maori word which means shark or shark tooth, which I thought was a pretty cool fact. And then males and females, they avoid each other apart from when mating, so I believe they call that sexual segregation. So yeah, they just avoid each other. So normally if you see a lot of them together, unless they're mating, it'll either be males or females. So moving on to the thresher sharks. Obviously they are the ones with the incredible elongated tail lobe. Really distinctive animals. There are actually 3 species of thresher sharks around the world, but there might be some undiscovered. I did start reading into some research where some scientists thought they'd discovered another one. So yeah, I think with anything with the marine environment, there is always species that we are finding that we didn't know. Well, I say we, not me, that we didn't know existed. And I think that's what's so intriguing about it. It's so alien, and there's just so much unexplored water that we're still finding different species every day. So going back to the threshers, so they tend to feed on schooling fish, and they use their tails, as I said in the video, to sort of confuse and disorientate and take the prey in order to eat them. So that's really cool. And they're one of the few species of sharks that can that have endothermic capabilities, which is something that Lucy spoke about in her talk, should I say. They're actually related to great whites and one of our favourite basking sharks. And they're part of the mackerel shark family. Taupes moving on to those guys. So they're also known as soup fin sharks, and they're becoming increasingly threatened around Europe. So there is some protection in place. So toaps are commonly found near continental shelves, which would explain why they're quite common in Cornwall, because obviously we do have a continental shelf not too far from the shore. And toaps are among the most extensively fished sharks in the world. They are slow growing and have low reproductive rates, so they struggle to recover. As that's one of the reasons why they are vulnerable and they are struggling. So they're heavily fished due to their vitamin-rich liver oil. So obviously for human consumption, but I do believe they've been heavily fished for their fins and meat as well. Remember that we have, which is amazing, we have 40 species of sharks and 18 types of ray that we get in UK waters. And globally, there are 440 species of sharks that we're aware of. And 600 species of ray. So yeah, incredible facts there. So now I'm just going to wait and see if anyone's got any questions for me. And yeah, hopefully we'll get some coming in. If there's anything that we've maybe not answered yet this month, then yeah, send us. The trickier the better. I love saying that I'm not doing the research. The trickier the better for Jax and Jodie. Also, I want to thank everybody who's so far sent in some pictures of sharks raising skates. There's been some beautiful ones, and I like the fact that there's a difference. There's been there's been artwork, there's been photographs, but then there's also been like ace kids dressed up as sharks, or with a vast collection of shark teddies and stuff, which you just living the dream, guys, and keep it up. Keep loving sharks, because we do too. So yeah, keep sending those pictures in. I've started putting the nice sort of end collage together, which will go out on the 29th, I believe we've scheduled it in for. We've also got on the 30th an amazing video that's being made by Lewis Jeffers. Oh, I can't remember. Oh, sorry, Lewis. I've blanked on your surname, mate. I'm sorry. So yeah, he's made us an amazing video, and obviously his name will be on the post. I just refer to him as Lewis. I don't often use his surname. So yeah, so keep your eye out for that. That's going to be out on the 30th as like an end celebration to our fantastic month. Next month as well, just to let you know, we're having plans put in place, because I think it's the 16th of May is Mental Health Awareness Week. So we've decided to dedicate the whole month to mental health awareness. It's always important, but obviously in current circumstances, it's even more important. So do stay tuned. We'll be releasing dates and events and things that we're doing for May. Yeah, so it should be a good month. So I've got a question come in. Henry is one of the regulars. Hi Henry, thanks for joining us again. Glad you love sharks so much. And I hope we've managed to answer all your questions so far. So, can a cookie cutter shark kill a human? From Henry, age 10. So Jax is just working away, having a research of that one. I don't know what a cookie cutter shark looks like. So if you could, Henry, please can you post a picture in the comments so I can see after we've finished chatting, so I can see what they look like, because I'm quite intrigued, because that is a really cool name. And I wonder why they get, where that name stems from, a cookie cutter. Yeah, intriguing. So, Jax has come back. No, they're only small. The first documented cookie cutter shark bite on a human was in 2009 in Hawaii, but they're only wee, so it was about a foot long. So they're only small sharks. So no, they're not damaging to humans. I think again, it's something that we've said in many of the videos, and it's something that's really good to be aware of. A lot of the time, if there's something, if someone has, has been bitten perhaps by this small shark, you don't know what that human being was doing, or they might have, might have been fishing for it and it's kind of taken a bite, because they are actually very peaceful, shy creatures, sharks really, and they never want to cause any harm to any humans. It just might be that some interactions have taken a turn, and I think sometimes they panic, and as we've said before, they are feeling with their mouths to try and find out and work out what people are if they do come across humans in the water. So yeah, just be aware of that. But again, as I've said, I also wouldn't suggest just jumping in the sea with lots of sharks, because if they're in the middle of feeding, you may get in the way. So yeah, if you are planning or you want to go and swim or snorkel with sharks, any sharks, you should make sure you do it with a professional, or and make sure that professional has conservation at the forefront of their business, rather than using sharks as a just a money making scheme. It's not always ideal. So the swimmer was doing a night swim between Hawaii and Maui, and cookies and night feeders. Okay, so that's why. So as I was saying, he got in the way of the feeding. I just assumed it was a male, but yeah, I think it was. So yeah, the swimmer was doing a night swim. So yeah, you've got to be aware of things like that, and certain sharks do feed at different times. So yeah, so be aware of that. But do keep those questions coming in, and don't forget, Henry, to post, please, a picture of a cookie cutter shark, because I haven't seen one and I really want to, because that's a great name. So has anyone got any other questions? If you have, please do let us know. Just seeing. Jax is typing something now. But yeah, do keep those pictures coming in, as I said. We've had some great ones, and I know there's been some nice arty ones. We've had some nice paintings. Someone sent in a painting of a great white and of a blue shark, and yeah, blue sharks obviously we do get around Cornwall, and like I said, Charles Hood is going to be talking about them on Monday, which I can't wait. I was actually meant to go. Charles Hood does boat trips, obviously when you can, to go and snorkel with the blue sharks, and I was intending on doing it. I think it was last year. I'm pretty sure it was, and we ended up having to cancel the trip because of the weather, which was really disappointing. But that is so typical, isn't it, that in the UK the weather is so unpredictable. But loving, I don't know how everyone's got mixed feelings about it at the minute, but I, for one, am really enjoying the fact that it's sunny. And I know that it's difficult because we're having to sort of stay in more, but just it being sunshiny just makes me happier in general. But yeah, anyway, getting sidetracked from sharks. So what depths are fresher sharks found at? Jack's just referring back to the cookie cutter shark bites. Yeah, it was a guy. He had a skin graft on the bite, but it was fine, so he had to have a skin graft. So yeah, thresher sharks, they do love the open water and deep waters. So that's why when we do get them in, I said this in the video, it's very seasonal. You don't tend to find them in sort of coastal regions. They do love the open ocean. But they're also found in shallow waters near the coast. They're generally not found any deeper than 500 metres, which is fair enough. But yeah, they're quite open ocean species. We're just lucky enough to have them visiting. I can't remember as well. When was it? I can't remember if it was last summer or the summer before, when there was and now I can't remember what species of shark it was, but it was in the harbour at St Ives. Can anyone remember? I can't remember if that was a thresher shark or if it was a blue shark, but that got quite sensationalised in the media, as a lot of things do. When it was just a poor shark who was probably, quite frightened to be in a harbour and not in lovely, deep, happy water. So next question from Harrison. I think, is Harrison a regular as well? I feel like Harrison, is it the same Harrison? I hope so. If it is, welcome back and thanks for another question. What sharks have the biggest teeth? Oh, sorry, going back to which shark was it in the harbour? Jax has just told me it was a blue shark. Thanks, Jax. I thought it was. I can't remember if it was a thresher. So yeah, which shark has, I can't talk anymore. Which sharks have the biggest teeth, from Harrison? I'm going to take a guess at this one just because of size, and I think because the biggest shark, I would have thought it'd be a great white, But we'll wait. Obviously, Jax and Jodie will correct me if I'm wrong, just because of the size of it. So, but yeah, I would have thought it'd be a great white. Megalodons had the biggest teeth that have ever existed, but obviously megalodons are extinct. And not according to some of the terrible films that you see. But yeah, but I would have thought it might be the great white now. Because obviously the biggest shark in the world is a whale shark, but they don't have teeth. So it's not those guys. And obviously the second biggest is a basking shark, which we're obviously lucky enough to have and seem to be seeing loads recently. It just makes me really excited and hoping that at some point soon we'll be able to go for a nice walk along some cliffs and have a look for some basking sharks. Because all of these videos coming out is really lovely to see. So many of them reappearing. And I know a few people have wondered and said and commented that perhaps it's because there's not many boats and stuff around, so perhaps that's why we're seeing more of them. Because no one's really sure, and I know people are sort of into it, of why there was a bit of a decline in basking sharks anyway. And just because they're not at the surface, it doesn't mean that they're not there. It just might have meant that they weren't feeding there. So yeah, so it's intriguing. So Jax is just having a looking up what is alive now. So we'll find out if it is the great white shark that has the biggest teeth, or if there's any others. I suppose, we're really lucky at the trust, at Cornwall Wildlife Trust as well. Someone, I think it's a long-term loan, has sort of donated some shark jaws, which we do get to take to some of our events with us. And it's a really engaging thing to have because, they are we've got a juvenile great white and they are, fairly big jaws. And also it's really cool to look on sort of the inside and you can see that conveyor belt of teeth coming through. I think we said in a previous video, they can get through about 30,000 teeth in a lifetime, and they've just got a constant conveyor belt coming through to make sure that they've always got them teeth. So incredible predators. Yeah, really lucky to have such amazing things in the world as great white sharks, or just any sharks in general. As you can tell, we all love them, and I know there's quite a lot of you out there that do too, which is great. So just wait until the answers to this, and then if there's no more questions coming through, I will probably leave it in a minute, but we'll just make sure we get the answer to this one. But as I said, we've got much more coming up for the rest of the month. So this might be the last live Q&A, but it's not over yet. And you can still keep those questions coming in even after this video, and it will be put on YouTube. If you don't follow our YouTube channel yet, it's Cornwall Wildlife Trust Marine. So that's with the Offshore Beach Rangers project and the wider marine team at the Wildlife Trust. So yeah, do have a look. So Jax is just having a research, and I think she's come to a bit of a standstill because everything just says megalodon. The largest known megalodon tooth was about 7 3/8 inches in length, which is huge, isn't it? They only have been a handful ever found exceeding 7 inches. The largest confirmed great white shark teeth are less than 3 inches long. So I don't know. So we're struggling to find the answer to that. Was that Harrison? Yes, from Harrison. So Harrison, maybe have a look as well and see if you can find out. Because we seem to be, struggling to find the answer, which, some things you do. And I've just seen as well, Samantha, you saying that you can't post a picture on live comments. I'll message you an image of the cookie cutter shark. Thank you so much. That's really good because I really want to see them. So how many teeth do a whale shark have? From Harrison again. Harrison, you've got lots of questions. Was it Harrison that's favourite shark is a whale shark? I can't remember. So they don't really have teeth, Harrison, because they're filter feeders. So they don't have teeth because they filter feed. So yeah, sorry. I hope that answers the question. Same for a basking shark; they don't have teeth either. they have a different kind of as you know, you've probably seen the sort of images, and if you have a look at that video that Andy shared from Atlantic Adventures, you can actually see the mouth of the basking shark open as it swims, and as it swims it's sort of bringing in the water and filtering out through those side gills, and yeah, keeping in that yummy plankton that it likes to eat. And that'll be, so they have rows of 300 teeth, but as filter feeders they do not use these teeth to eat. So correction, I am very sorry, Harrison, they do have teeth, my bad. They have over 300 teeth. They have rows of over 300 teeth, but as filter feeders they do not use these teeth to eat. Wow, I didn't know that, so I apologise. Thank you, Jax. And good question, Harrison, because you very much tripped me up there. So yeah, so they do have teeth. Who knew? I did not know. Okay, guys, I think I'm going to leave it there this morning. But thank you so much for tuning in. And like I said, if you do have any more questions, please do just post them in the comments and we will answer them. And yeah, thanks again. And thanks for people that have joined us this month. If you've joined us once, twice, or every time, it's fantastic. And yeah. Oh, Jax just said as well that they're tiny teeth. They're less than 1 inch long, which is really small. But they do have teeth nonetheless. But yeah, thanks for joining us. And we'll see you soon. And stay tuned with everything else we've got coming up. Thanks, guys. Bye.